Badlands 2 got reworked, now reducing its total wave count from 40 to 30. Returning event enemies from Hex Escape and some skeletons Gunslinger recruited. Gunslinger himself is still a tough boss that can get close to your base. I wish he was reworked rather than rebalanced. The mode is completely different now with the new ecosystem, and is no longer easy like before. It's a very crowded mode because of the All-Paths modifier. The mini rework just makes it more crowded. They even increased the starting cache, allowing you to use towers that have more than 600 cache, opening to more potential early game options. Anyways, Badlands got tough and so did Quick Draw. So here are the meta towers for Badlands 2. Electroshocker. This tower is extremely good for early game, especially with Badlands 2's starting cache being 900, allowing you to place down Electro on wave 1. This tower deals decent DPS that can hit multiple enemies, making it a very good crowd control tower. Cheesing enemies like Quick Switch shows up instantly on wave 2, and almost everything in early game but hiddens. This is extremely good against the overwhelming crowds of Badlands 2. In addition, with its stun effect, which is also very good, makes this tower an excellent stalling tower. Good crowd control, and stalling. Oh, this tower can also be useful for pretty much all stages of the game. In early game, it does good damage to defend itself, then later on mid game it gets to hit a lot of enemies. Finally, on late game it still does the same thing but mostly for stalling. Such a goated tower. Electroshocker is one of the best towers for early game in Badlands 2, would recommend using it. Just don't forget about hidden detection. Because of its crowd control nature, Electro will be able to help against some hidden enemies if there's a normal enemy next to it. But it's not reliable, so there's that. Mortar. Just like in Pizza Party, this tower is very good in Badlands 2. Actually no, it's cracked in Badlands because of the All-Paths modifier, tripling the amount of enemies spawned by the wave. You can use this for wave 1, but it is best used in the late game, or mid game, when you get the level 4 upgrade, where it unlocks cluster bombs, increasing its AoE damage even further. Mortar will easily clean the absurd spam of enemies, especially breakers. Additionally, its insane range should be able to cover the entire map, if you know where to place it, which is already obvious, making this tower brain dead. The only thing you need to watch out is hiddens, like Conjurer, and maybe corpse enemies, since this tower tries to purposely miss on them. This tower is a must-have for Badlands. Rocketeer. Yeah, this tower is still good if you don't have Mortar. Very good splash damage, but less splash radius. On the max level it gets a unique targeting that makes it very good for splash, so there's that. It's just a little bit tricky to use because it's dead zone. It shouldn't be a problem most of the time though. Unlike Mortar, this has hidden detection, so you don't have to worry much about hiddens in late game. If you happen to forget about that. There are no flying enemies in Badlands 2 anyway. This tower is a great balance between single DPS damage and splash, making it viable for taking down some bosses. Golden Pyromancer, another area of effect tower. Area of effect towers are pretty much towers that can deal multiple hits at once. Well, it's pretty obvious since the nature of Badlands 2 is spamming a lot of enemies. But hey, this tower got hidden detection early on. It's also a great early game area of effect tower as well, just don't forget about elite abnormals flexing on you. This tower is alright, it can be an alternative to Electroshocker if you're desperate for hidden detection. Even with the golden version, I'd still prefer Electroshocker over it. Supports and farms. Yep, they're still meta. Farm for that sweet economy boost. Though sometimes you don't need to max all of them. Then Commander and DJ for a huge DPS boost on your towers at the cost of a handful of placement spaces. Those are the meta towers for Badlands 2, almost the same as Pizza Party, and of course they're crowd control towers. Mostly used for crowds and not defense piercing. It's only natural for a triple lane map with All-Paths modifier. Don't over-invest on crowd control towers though, you still need simple single DPS towers for bosses. These single target DPS towers could just be Ranger and Pursuit since they're still really good in Badlands too, not having to worry about range debuffs, or when Gunslinger gets too close into our base. Just bring any of them but Minigunner. Stun immune towers with insane range are still very good against Gunslinger. But other DPS options aren't too bad. Most late game towers are viable anyways, and you can always bring more of them if you lack DPS. That's all there is for today. I was planning to release this before Polluted Wastelands 2, mini rework. If you like the video, like it and dislike if you don't. Then subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.